Alright, hey everyone, Justine with Blue Jay Orchids, and welcome to Orchid Wind Down Wednesday. So, the goal of this is every Wednesday we will do some wine and we'll talk about orchids or other things relating to like what's going on in my life, but mostly orchid themed, maybe a little bit of um, added random stuff because you guys all know how random I am. And I would like to do some guests at some point, so we'll see how that goes. And because we have the Sarasota Orchid Society show coming up, I figured it would be a good time to talk about show etiquette. Because I know when I went to my first show, it was very intimidating. And I feel like if I had like a little handbook of like the do's and don'ts of the orchid world, and I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I've been going to a fair bit of shows, and yes, it's still overwhelming, but I feel like I at least have a little bit of insight to help you to go to your first show. And the wine tonight is courtesy of me going to a local grocery store, and it is a California red blend. Very exciting. I am actually talking to some wine companies to see if they want to sponsor Orchid Wine Down Wednesdays, and that would be kind of cool. Then I could give you guys a breakdown of like the taste of wines and different type. So we'll see if that works out. That would be really fun. But back to the main topic of tonight. Oh, and then I must introduce my guests. We have Paxson Red Fragrance here, a purchase from Palmer's recently. And no, it does not live on my tree. I brought it in for special, to be the special guest. And then we have, oh, I guess the thing got tipped. Hold, please. We got tipped. There we go. That's better. And then we have over here this beautiful Cerulean Cattleya that I bloomed myself. And my kids on the monitor. Yep, busy mom. And yeah, I could bring the dogs in, but they're both pretty much just sleeping right beside me. So maybe they'll make an appearance. We'll see. But yes, show etiquette. Hopefully this mic is working. It's kind of hard to tell until after the fact. And then I think when I move, it makes noise too, so that'll be interesting. So one of the first things I can think about as far as show etiquette is pretty obvious one. Just be respectful. I mean, the vendors are there, it's their job, they're trying to make money. Majority of them are very nice and gracious. And I don't think any of them ignore you, like, or anyone like ignore each other on purpose. But the shows are loud and people can get busy. So I think sometimes they just don't hear people. And I think the big thing is just don't take anything personally as far as if like they're not answering all your questions at once. A lot of them have cards and will answer stuff like via email, or if you have any issues with any of your plants, they can offer suggestions. And yeah, the big thing is just treat everyone with respect and be nice. And also go there to have fun. I mean, you're going to see a bunch of pretty flowers. If it's your first show, you might not want to buy a whole bunch. Maybe just buy like one or two, like kind of ease into it, especially if you're a beginner. And I'd say go with a plan. You want to have some kind of plan as far as budget and what type of orchids you can grow and where you want to grow them. Because not everyone can grow every type of orchid. There are certain orchids that grow well, and there are certain orchids that are a little harder to grow. For example, in Florida, I can't grow orchids that are more designed for a cool climate. And sometimes vendors will bring other environment orchids here because people from other places will be here buying. So it's not like every orchid you see at a show in Florida can grow in Florida. You can always ask questions like, hey, this is where I'm going to grow it. Do you think it would do well? Type stuff. And I'd say most vendors, if they're not busy, will answer you and be honest. I mean, like anything, I'm sure there's some bad seeds in there, but for the most part, all my vendor experiences have been great. I don't think I have any like awful vendor experience stories. And I mean, most of the people there are there because they love orchids and plants, and I'd say the majority of people going to the show are nice. I think sometimes you run into like the crazy orchid people, which, like anything, there's always going to be some crazies. And for example, when my husband went to one of his first shows, I think it was his second show, I was trying to have him pick out orchids, and there was this one person around him that he would like an orchid, and she would like pick it out right from under his nose before he actually touched it. So I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but to him it felt like people were just taking orchids directly from him, given he was like kind of overthinking it. And typically when I am looking at an orchid, I'll pick it up, look at it gingerly. Like, I'm not being too rough with the plant. I have an interest in the plant, but I want to see it closer. You shouldn't just pick up plants all the time just to pick them up. That's kind of a little rude. If you want to see the plant and get a better look, I think it's fine to pick it up, look around. And if you want to smell something, I think that's fine. But like, I don't think you want to like be messing with the flowers a whole bunch. Like, this is my plant, and if I was a vendor, I wouldn't want someone like constantly like hitting it like this. Like, if someone was gently like picking it up like this, I think that's fine. But like constantly like hitting it and like running it into things, like, you just want to be respectful of the flowers. That's what they're going to be making their money off of. I mean, Vandas are a little easier. They have the hangers, but like, just try not to like get like from the lip and the flower, because these can break off pretty easy. I say just kind of grab from the stem a little bit and just gently lift up. And like, if you can look without touching, that's better. But I mean, just be respectful of the vendor's products. So far we've talked about respect, courtesy. What other topics do you think are important to cover? Just kind of thinking in my head. I mean, I think the big thing is just don't be like a know it all, even if you are. Just be courteous. So the biggest thing is just be kind. It can go a long way just being kind. I think that's the biggest thing. And yeah, know what you want, have an idea of what you want. And then I guess a little bit of advice as far as picking out a healthy plant. So we'll start with a little bit of this. The easiest thing, I think, as far as picking out a healthy plant is to look at the overall plant. And this is just all from personal experience and what I've noticed. Look at the overall plant. You're looking at leaves, you're looking at the pseudobulbs, which is, let's see, I'll move this, which is this here. That's a pseudobulb. So leaves, pseudobulbs. If they have flowers, you're looking at the flowers. And you're also looking at the roots, if you can see any roots. If it's mounted, you'd be able to see all the roots and if they're attached. If it's potted, you can gently kind of like move the plant around to see if it's like rooted in the pot already, or sometimes you'll even see the plant has already grabbed onto the pot. So pseudobulbs, leaves, roots, flower, and then just the growth pattern as well. You can see how it's been grown. A lot of my orchids are dehydrated because I don't water enough. So you'll see like, let's see, can you see it? You'll see like the wrinkles on here. The wrinkles mean I didn't water it while it was growing. So the new pseudobulbs, this one I also repotted and like stressed it out a bunch too, but that's neither here nor there. And with Vandas, you want to see like new root tip growth and consistency in the leaf patterning. Like, you want to see it growing like um, like evenly. You don't want to see like a bunch of like little leaves, and you also don't want to see like a bunch of markings on the leaves. And normally I don't say and. It's kind of hard to just randomly talk while not doing stuff. Picking out healthy plants. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, a lot of it you just learn through experience as far as picking out a healthy plant. And you also learn from experience as far as what type of plants you like. So for me, I've kind of found out that blue cerulean is my thing. I also like Paphiopedilums and Cattleyas. Unfortunately, I like Vandas, but I'd say right now is like Cerulean Cattleyas are kind of what I'm into, and then Paphiopedilums, and then some like novelty phals. Um, that's kind of what I'm going for. And then for me, because I am getting such a big collection, I'm also looking for orchids that are going to be like show worthy. So I'm looking for orchids in bloom, and I'm looking for that show worthy flower for me. That's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. So I'm looking for the bigger flower, the flat flowers, the plants that I think are going to be winners as they get older. And I mean, that's just what I'm looking for. If you're looking for something else, that's fine. You just kind of have to have an idea of what you're looking for. And then when you are, buying either your first orchid or your first non-phalaenopsis type orchid, which is the phalaenopsis are like the grocery store orchids, we like to say. They're, the leaves that are similar to this. Like they'll grow like, just straight up. And they're the ones that have the big flower. Let's see. Um, there we go. Let's see. Hold, please. Here. This is like a foul flower. This is one of Roxy's ornaments. Just put this back here. But yeah, if it's your first like non-foul flower, it can be a little intimidating, especially when you see some of the prices. Get the hair off my mic. Hopefully the mic is working. Sorry, that probably made noise. Yeah, it can be a little intimidating, but I mean, most people do not bite. If you have questions that are genuine, I'd say most people are going to answer them. And just, be brave, make that purchase. If it really makes you happy, I say go ahead, get that plant. Trust your gut. And as long as it is a price point you feel comfortable spending, I'd say, you know, it's just an orchid. It's not the end of the world. What's the worst thing that can happen? You could kill it. I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world. It's not like we haven't unalived enough of our own plants. I've had a few casualties recently. I mean, if you grow enough plants, you're gonna have casualties. It's the nature of things. And sometimes it's not even something you did wrong. It's just something happened. But yeah, it's not like I've never unalived one of my own plants. Just stuff happens. I've had my son drop plants in the wrong way. I've had things eat plants, and I've just had plants fail to thrive. Sometimes you just have plants fail to thrive. It happens. But hopefully, this was educational and fun, and you guys would like me to do more of it. I'll give you a little bit more information on this, like read off the dates and stuff. And yeah, feel free to let me know if there's a topic in particular you'd like me to talk about, or if there's any guests in particular you'd like me to reach out to. But yes, this is Orchid Wind Down Wednesday. Weekly content brought to you by me. And maybe one of my dogs if they decide to make an appearance. Would you guys like to meet one of my dogs? Let's see how this works. Charlie, come here. Okay, I got both of them. All right, Lucy, you're smaller. Come here. Come in. This is going to end badly, I think. Come here. Come on. Come on. I need one of you. Come on. All right. This is Charles. You can't see him yet. Come on, Luce. Come on. They're sitting so nice. Okay. Should we guys get you off the tripod and show you the doggies? I think we should. Alright. This is Charlie. Charlie, say hi. Charlie. Yeah. And there's Lucy. Hi. I hope you guys enjoyed Orchid Wind Down Wednesday, and here is the flyer for the Sarasota Orchid Society. It is January 6th, 7th, 2024, Saturday at 9 a.m., 5 p.m., Sunday at 10 a.m., and 4 p.m. $5 admission. See you guys there. Remember, keep growing.